Hi, hello guys. This is a new video about my Nofap journey so far. As far as I'm concerned, the longest time I went without fapping or masturbating was at least 3 months, which is 90 days, which is pretty good because so far I haven't been able to go beyond 3 weeks. And to be honest and fair, today I masturbated 3 times, but I didn't masturbate for 13 days before it, which is pretty good, which means that on average, if we divide it, it means like I masturbated once every 4 days if we divide it on the 13 days, which is still better than when I was not trying to get better, which basically I would masturbate every day or every other day. So it's still a progress. I'm still relapsing and failing sometimes, but on the bigger picture it's improvements. I want to talk about how usually we think about when we are trying to solve a problem. We go at it with a one dimension thinking. Like if we are trying to lose weight, for example, or to be healthier, usually we think, okay, just exercise. It's like, yeah, just exercise. What about diet and sleep and meditation? These other things, the stress, to manage it if you can lower it. Other dimension other than just exercise, which is vital, but also the others. As far as I'm concerned, when I am seeing videos about Nofap, it's nice, motivating, but it seems like it's kinda one dimension. It's about willpower, right? Because you know it's better for you, it makes you better, so you just have to do it. Which is, you need willpower to do almost anything that you are to resist your desires and to face your fears. You need willpower, but you also need other things. A big thing is like to avoid the cues, for example, to avoid seeing a beautiful woman easily on YouTube and on Google and whatsoever, wherever you go. On Google, YouTube, or like Instagram or something like that. So that's kind of like one dimension, and it's clear and very useful. But I didn't really find much about the other dimension, which in my case, whenever I apply them together, it just feels normal and easy and natural for me to just not masturbate. It's just the urge kind of like decreased by at least 70 to 80%. And I wanted to talk about that. It's 5 things, in my opinion, that whenever I do them, it improves my life, or should I say, it improves my, it decreases my urge and my impulses and my cravings for fapping and eating unhealthy and indulging in whatever anything else, like playing video games or something like that. These 5 things are fasting, eating a natural food, no junk food, not refined food and whatsoever, healthy natural food, except the sugary food like fruits. I avoid fruit and stuff like that. I eat complex carb, but not a lot, and some exercise, not much, but in my case 4 days of the week, as well as reducing my stress as much as you can, and reducing dopamine income, also big one. So I'm gonna talk about fasting first. Basically, fasting like calms the body, you see. It's like stabilize your mood. Personally, whenever I fast about 18 to 16 hours every day for 3 days, I immediately notice a lot of stability in my mood, and my cravings for food and my impulses for masturbating or playing video games decreases in a way I also kind of become kind of like lazy, or should I say not looking forward to do something, but at the same time calm and peaceful. So I encourage you to try that if you're trying to basically stop the habit of fapping or improving your life overall. I highly recommend that you check Dr. Berg channel. He's amazing about fasting, intermittent fasting, and keto diet, which is really important and big deal. The other part is healthy food. I notice when I eat unhealthy food or sugary food, even if it's natural fruit and stuff like that, or I overeat, even if it's healthy food, I overeat, I immediately, how should I say, become so much, my willpower becomes much weaker, and my impulses and cravings actually increases. And that's what happened yesterday. Should I say the day before, I ate too much carb. I ate too much boiled potatoes, boiled in water potatoes. After that, I had food coma, basically. I barely could stay awake. And after that, problem after problem came. I was tired, nothing was enjoyable, and I felt like kind of suffocated. And I just wanted to do something fun, but I had nothing fun, tired and exhausted, and I just wanted to breathe. And so I went and masturbated. So it was like a sequence, domino effect in my case. So the third point is, the second point, the first one was fasting, now it's healthy food, is eating natural healthy food and making sure you avoid, in my case, sugary food and too much carbs, and overall not overeating, even if it's not too much carb. It helped a lot. I think that has something a lot with insulin resistance, in case that you are eating healthy food but it was carb or fruits. And obviously it's clear that when you eat junk food and unhealthy food, it messes your body up, so it makes you much weaker and tired, so you will be inclined, more likely to, do something that you usually or you don't want to do. Because when you are tired and exhausted, you have weaker will, so you naturally do what your impulses tell you to do. The third thing is exercise. It's kind of like nice and refreshing. Make sure that you don't overwork yourself, and it's really like refresh you and makes you energized. So that's also another one, exercise. The fourth one I want to talk about is reducing stress. Reducing stress basically, and taking care of your sleep goes hand in hand. Like, if I name it sleeping for 8.5 hours consistently, or 9 hours, or reducing your stress, is kind of the same. So you need to take really good care of your sleep, because that's gonna reduce a lot of stress. At least sleep for 8 hours every night if you can, preferably even 9 hours. I don't know if 10 hours is even better, but at least 8 hours, preferably 9 hours. And really try your best to sleep every night that much. And also reduce your stress overall, on your day, if you can manage it, meditation or any other way. In my case, I play video games so seriously, so luckily I stopped playing it. So that was a huge stress just went away, because I used to play video games like as if my life depends on it, and my heartbeat starts beating so much, and if something comes up suddenly in the game, I would actually get scared. So it's like I'm very engaged and stressed from it. So stopping that really reduced a lot of my stress, and I'm starting to try to sleep consistently good amount of hours, and that results basically on your day being much stabilized, because you deprive yourself of sleep, you are already setting yourself up the next day to be miserable and like have unstable mood, which increases the chances that you make terrible choices. Either masturbate, either eat unhealthy food, basically increases the chances that you will act on your impulses and your cravings. But when you have a really nice good sleep, chances are your mood stabilizes. Overall, you feel rested and rejuvenating, so you don't feel disturbed, tired, anxious. So it increases the chance to do the right thing and to have a stronger will. Not just stronger will, less cravings and impulses in the first place. So that's the fourth one. And the fifth one is dopamine income. You know, when you see a really good movie, like seriously fun and amazing, well-made movie, and after that, the same day or even the next day, you go to see another movie, which is also good, but not as good as that movie. So you don't really enjoy it, and you can't as much. You don't really enjoy it as much if you saw it first, if you had seen it first, and two, you can't help but compare it with that really good movie that you just saw yesterday or the day before. Basically, that really good movie just made your standard, or just raised your standards for your enjoyment for movies. The same thing happens with our dopamine in our mind when we do something fun. We eat food, we have sex, we masturbate, we play video games, we listen to music, we talk with people, we make jokes, when we success. All that releases dopamine, so you feel good. The thing is, masturbating, having sex, releases dopamine in high amounts. So the more you masturbate, the more you are used to high amounts of dopamine. But that's not the only case. The more you eat food, especially a natural food with lots of flavors and lots of sugar and lots of salt, it also releases a lot of dopamine. And if you also used to that and used to watching lots of videos, like not necessarily porn, but even short, colory, high in sound and effects, not a slow-paced lecture, 20-minute lecture. No, it's like boom, chack, a joke, and then effect, and a joke here and a joke there. It's like it's keeping your attention. You don't even need to keep your attention there. It's sucking your attention in. That also releases a lot of dopamine. Why am I saying this? Well, if your brain is used to high amounts of dopamine all the time from eating food that releases a lot of dopamine, and you eat it often and a lot, and you also watch lots of videos and play video games that also releases a lot of dopamine, you will have your standard for your dopamine has increased. So when you try to read a book, or when you try to do something simple, still it should be enjoyable, like when you go for a walk, or when you are reading a book, a really nice book, even if like a fantasy book, for example. It doesn't have to be like math or something like that, but it doesn't have the sounds and effects and music and action and the drum. You just are reading. There's no colors. You have to imagine it. They become less and less enjoyable, right? So it becomes harder. These things that releases low dopamine becomes even harder, and you will only be satisfied with something that releases high amount of dopamine. So if you just cut out masturbating, but you are still doing the other things that are releasing high dopamine, your standard for dopamine is still high, okay? So you won't easily be satisfied. You have to be at all the times watching videos, all the time distracting yourself, all the time eating food, for example, or if you are smoking or anything, so you are still satisfied. But if you actually somehow manage to drop down the standard for dopamine, you don't need to distract yourself all the time. You don't need like to masturbate or play video games or play something that to feel satisfied because you are used to high level of dopamine. Why am I saying this? Because when you are lowering the standards of dopamine, everything else that you do that used to be boring will be a little bit less boring, maybe even enjoyable, which will increase your chances to feel satisfied even if you're not masturbating, even if you didn't masturbate for a week. So I didn't quite explain it well, but it's called dopamine detox. Search it on YouTube, and it is there are videos that are well made about this point. Because the more you reduce your standard for dopamine, the more you enjoy the simple things more, and you will enjoy the walks, even the video games that you're playing, you enjoy it just fine. You will enjoy it even more. So it will increase the chances of you being satisfied, happy, without every now and then just like masturbate comes on your mind. So that's about it for this video. I hope you find it helpful, and don't expect it to be perfect. You will fail a lot, but this is just my experience so far, that when I am fasting and eating healthy, making sure I don't overeat, and I make sure I sleep well, I don't eat fruits, and I kind of exercise a little bit and try to reduce my stress and dopamine income from playing video games, from doing other fun games, that I also reduce it. It increases my chances to stay sober from masturbating. Basically today when I masturbated 2 or 3 times was mainly because I overate carbs, which messed up my blood sugar, which then made me tired and anxious, tired, yet can't really fall asleep. So because I tried to fall asleep for 3 hours and I didn't fall asleep, and I made a stupid choice. Consciously I made the wrong choice, but it increased my chances to make it. But the whole 13 days before that, I was eating healthy, making sure I don't overeat, and sleeping well and everything, and it just felt like so normal and easy. So I wanted to introduce this to your journey of completely removing this habit from your life, and I hope you find it helpful. Give it a try and see. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another video. Bye.